All right, thanks everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be kind of coordinating a lot of things here. I got a mic, I got a slide push. I'll be reading from, oh, I'm sorry. This better? Much better? Okay, so what I was saying is I'm going to be a little bit handicapped here. I've got to change the slides. I've got this microphone. I'm going to be reading from this paper, so I apologize for reading, but we've got so much good momentum happening right now that I haven't been able to learn my lines. So yeah, I'll be reading. I'm going to try to keep the passion high, though, because this is a very big occasion for us. I think we've had our current brand, what I was hearing, since like 2008 or 2012, around then. So it's been a while. And working with McDaniel's Marketing, they suggested that we rebrand as a first thing we go through. Of course, they wanted to do the rebrand, but us in the tourism department, we wanted to make sure that we did our due diligence. And instead, we found a branding firm up in St. Louis called Blacktop Sailor, and we thought they really understood what a brand is and what it can do for St. Gen. So hello everybody, welcome. Thanks so much for coming. It's nice to see such a strong reaction to this event. I think St. Gen is going through a very exciting time of growth. I know in my department and what we're sharing with you today, we're setting St. Gen up for the next 30 years of tourism expansion. It's not just our tourism department. Of course, it's a citywide and a countywide momentum that we're building. And building a brand is kind of our first step in capturing that momentum and really uniting it under a singular heading. I'm wondering, do I have to, what's next? Okay, that's another beautiful photo. Thank you, Bill. I'm going to be thanking Bill Nagger a lot here, but thank you for all these wonderful photos. And I wanted to start, of course, we're not the only ones that are going to be getting a rebrand here. Our partners in the county and at the Chamber of Commerce are also going to get a new brand. So before we got too deep into this, I wanted to bring our partners up to kind of talk about the momentum that they're building in their organizations. So first up, I'd like to bring Dina Kreitler of the Chamber of Commerce to kind of talk about the exciting ways that things are expanding within her organization. So Dina, if you could come up. There you go. Sneak attack.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dina Kreitler. I'm the Executive Director for the St. Genevieve Chamber of Commerce, and I have been in that role for 25 years. This is actually my 25th year being your director. So in that time, actually, I've seen a lot of growth. I've seen a lot of businesses close. I've seen some new faces and that have stayed around for a long time, and a lot of you are still in this room. I've witnessed some women-owned business and leadership, and I mean, look at all of the fine ladies in this room that are running an operation already. So kudos to all of us strong women. The tourism and the community engagement, we continue to emphasize on promoting St. Genevieve's rich history and our culture. And we do that not just by our downtown, but through the chamber and through all of our other entities, Industrial Development Corporation, the Community Center. I mean, there's so many facets that we all touch on in a lot of different ways. We've had an increase in unique boutiques, specialty shops, artisan businesses that also enhance the shopping experience. Our restaurants, our cafes, our coffee shops are drawing both locals and also tourists. The growth in professional services such as salons, wellness centers, consulting firms, it has truly diversified our downtown business and the landscape. So culture and community events, we drive traffic in our downtown area all the time, whether you're coming down to go to the coffee shop or you're coming down to go to the abstract office or the courthouse. If you're just in the downtown area and in that landscape, and so you're part of that footprint. We continue to have festivals, farmers markets, special events that continue to bring in all of that foot traffic, like the Farmers Table. That was a new event last year that the Chamber Foundation did in cooperation with the 4-H. So that brought in not just our normal typical business, but also like the agricultural part of us and the farming industry of our community, which is very huge. So, you know, we touch base, Chamber touches base on the entrepreneurship, the small business support. We provide resources and networking and mentorship for new businesses. We have a leadership program that gets our young business community into the facets of your business. So whether you all know what Mississippi Lime does every day or the hospital does every day, it's how do they operate on the back end. And that's still part of tourism. So a lot of people in our leadership classes, they're young, they just graduated, they're filling roles that people have already retired from, and so they're new to the industry, or maybe not to the community, but to that industry, and so we're teaching them on the back end of how to be a good business leader. The revitalization of downtown and the storefronts and infrastructure, we do see a lot of changeover in our businesses, but people are buying those businesses and they're turning them into something, and they're investing their time and their money into making sure that those businesses still are open to the public. New housing development, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this because we worked our asses off for 5 years to get that housing initiative passed. Whether you agree with it or you don't, we worked hard and we are very, very proud of that. So, you know, the chamber, the IDC, the city, the county, like we cannot bring more people into this community to live here, or to work here, if we cannot provide a rooftop for them to live here. So that is the goal of that. I will leave you with this. Collaboration is key. So I'm not asking you to join the Chamber of Commerce, although that would be great. If you're not a member, you should definitely look me up and I will talk your ear off. But that's not what I'm really here for tonight. I want to tell you that we have so much going on in our community on the tourism front. It's not just Chamber, it's not just tourism, it's not just IDC, it's not city, county, it's not the community center, it's all of us. And so if we're not all together and united as one, it will never work. So thank you for your time. I want to tell you that the attendance of this meeting tonight truly represents how we love and appreciate our little small town. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dina. Yeah, and she's been putting on a lot of great programs. The leadership, I just did that this past year, and it's one of the most worthwhile things that we have in the city of St. John. It's really great to see behind the scenes on all these businesses. Next up, I'd like to bring up Randy Ruzicka. He's one of our county commissioners to kind of talk about the momentum we have in the county.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Louder. You want to hear me? Okay. All right. My name's Randy Ruzicka. I'm your presiding commissioner here in St. Genevieve County. Been involved in county government now for 4 years. Before that, I was on the city council. It's amazing how quickly time flies. I'm coming up on 20 years that I have been here, and I've never lost sight of how unique this community is. It really is a very, very special place. The other day I was sitting in the coffee shop and I was just looking around and watching, and there were some people from out of town in there, and I thought, you know, we like to travel, and I thought, we stay in a lot of really neat little towns and neat places, but none of them have anything on this. This is really a jewel. And I'm so glad to see the energy that Aaron and everybody involved, Dina and everybody, has put into trying to get us into the next years, looking forward. I wish I could have a lot of really positive stuff to say about the county. We're doing fine. We have financial issues which have been caused by the state of Missouri. I will not go into that because I want this evening to be happy and upbeat, okay? So I will not bore you with those details. If you read the paper or listen to the radio, you know all about it. But I will say the county is happy to partner with the tourism department and the city, because a lot of times people think, well, there's a separation between the city and the county. The city is part of the county. Okay, we're all in this together. And the county, I'm speaking for them, we're happy to partner with you. This new housing development is great. These are exciting times. We have challenges, but these are exciting times, and I'm very positive that going forward, things are just going to get better. So I'll just leave you with that, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Well, thanks so much, Randy. I mean, I think he says it exactly like it needs to be said. The city needs the county. We have things in the county that the city doesn't have. and the city has things that the county doesn't have. This night is about putting all of those things together, and this brand is about putting all those things together. So last but not least, I would love to bring up Brian Kime, the mayor, to talk about some other great things that are going on in the city right now.
Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I know we had a little hiccup with the weather last week, but it's great to see the turnout. So thanks for joining us tonight. This is an exciting night. I can't wait to see. I wanted to see what picture you use. Okay.
The tundra.
I like it. I like it. It's fitting, although it's a little bit warmer outside. But no, thanks to Aaron here for all the work that's gone into what you're about to see, but also the momentum that he's talking about is that's. I give Aaron a lot of credit for that. And I've often said, and some of you have heard me talk about this and say this, that if I do nothing else during my time as your mayor, hiring Aaron Smith will be a feather in my cap that I'll take with me forever, because I feel like he's doing an unbelievable job. So yeah, let's give him a So just to give you a little bit of a rundown of where we're at city-wise, we have a lot going on. A couple years ago when I was elected, I set about a few goals, but really the main overarching theme for all that was, how do we make St. Gen the best place to live, work, and play? So on the live front, we passed Prop S. That was a huge deal. That's going to pave the way for 157 new homes to be built here. Hopefully an influx of new residents, but also it's going to be valuable for our employers to give them a place for their employees to call home, which has been a struggle for our employers. It's been a struggle to keep people around just because of the lack of housing, but we're hopeful and we're very close to solving that problem. Additionally, Prop S has allowed us to earmark $6.5 million to fix a lot of crumbling infrastructure that I'm sure that all of you are very well aware of, right? I think you drove here, so you probably understand. So there's our live piece, right? Our work piece is still in progress. I would say that both of those things kind of factor into that, but we are, as many of you know, in discussions right now with Mineral Area College to try to bring a new facility here to St. Genevieve. In listening to our employers, finding local talent is hard. Retaining local talent is even harder. And then giving them the necessary resources for them to flourish in their career, which is on-the-job training, continuing education. We're about to bring that to everybody's doorstep. So knocking out the work piece as we go. Now there's still more to do, obviously, but we're trying to check those boxes as we move along here. So we're very excited about that opportunity and what's to come there, so stay tuned. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Aaron so he can talk more about the play piece.
Hey.
Well, hope you guys don't catch the blushing on camera. Thank you, Brian, for that. Thank you, Dina, Randy, Brian. These are the people that are stewarding our community forward. I think it's great for you all to hear from them where we're headed. I wanted this invite tonight to do exactly what I think it's done, and put business owners, heads of organizations, and other tourism stakeholders in the same room together for the first time in probably a long time, and in some cases probably the first time ever. Hopefully there's some faces that you haven't seen. These are our business owners. One thing I've noticed in my time here is that we don't do an effective job communicating as a community. And one thing that can start to fix that is having a cohesive brand that serves everyone in our community. With a strong brand, we all have a shared mission statement that we can get behind, sort of brainstorm on how to expand, and hold each other accountable for not serving. So if you really take this brand to heart, it can be a great basis for us to communicate and share our experiences on what carrying this brand forward is like. And what I'm really hoping this brand does most is to serve as a touchstone we all return to remind us why we're all here, why we've started our businesses, why we've taken on so much, and to what end. With that, I'm going to bring up Tyler Shario from Blacktop Sailor to kind of give you the science behind crafting a brand. So, Tyler.
we're all here tonight, obviously, to reveal the new brand that will be St. Genevieve, and I promise not to bore you with all of the gory details, but we did want to share a little bit of the thinking, the inspiration, which largely came from members of this community that went into this new brand, right? When we think about creating a new brand, we think about a lot of different things, but fundamentally for this assignment, we wanted to make sure that we're positioning St. Genevieve to do what you see on the screen behind me. And how we do that is multifold, but fundamentally it means being true to this community. It means capturing the best of what we've learned about St. Genevieve, distilling and bottling the things that make this place special, as Randy was just saying. We know that St. Genevieve is a place and not a brand, but the rules of branding, as we understand them, apply the same here as they do with any other brand. So we thought it would be useful to just take a brief moment to talk about what a brand fundamentally is. If you ask 100 marketers like myself, you'll get 100 different answers to this question. But in the simplest sense, a brand is a promise. A brand is a way to connect people emotionally. A brand is a way to show folks what we stand for. And so that was our attempt with this. And what we're effectively trying to replicate is examples of other famous brands. For example, Apple is not a technology company. Apple is a company that stands for innovation and creativity, a company that is for people who think differently. Disney doesn't sell entertainment. Disney sells magic and wonder for families. It causes joy and nostalgia in people. Starbucks is a place for community. I think you get where I'm going here. BMW, it's not a car, it's selling something else. It stands for performance and luxury. And what all of this means is that the thing that we are is as a brand, more than just the thing that we sell. And when we're talking about St. Genevieve tourism, the thing that we have to offer to the world is community, is passion, is that je ne sais quoi that makes this place as special as it truly is. And so in order to figure out how we capture that in terms that are as simple as these, we went through a broad exercise. Again, I promise I will not bore you with all of the details, but wanted to share some of the highlights that we came across as we were digging into research, as we were thinking about what the next evolution of St. Genevieve might look like. So, generally consider the broader context surrounding the brand that is St. Genevieve, and it consists of all of these different pieces. The audience, so who are we talking to and how do we appeal to them? The culture, how does St. Genevieve stand out in the world that we all live in today? The people, again, you all are our greatest source of inspiration, and we hope that that comes through. And then finally, the brand, how do we package the best of what this place has to offer? We'll very quickly run through these one by one. Starting with the audience, what we really found is that we're really talking to what we call like the experiential traveler. And the first thing we found is that there are really three motivations that kind of map really nicely between what St. Genevieve has to offer and what our audience is looking for. Nostalgic stories, a chance to look back while experiencing the present. Unique tastes. People travel for food and drink and cultural experiences, and St. Genevieve has a wealth of all of those to offer. Liver dumplings are near the top of the list. Novel experiences. We experienced it as Blacktop Sailor. We came out here, Aaron was kind enough to kind of curate a city immersion, basically. We met lots of folks from the community, we got to see lots of different places and really experience it ourselves. And the truth is that the passion, the sense of community is great, but what makes this place special is that unique mix of experiences that you can get 1 hour out of St. Louis, for example, that truly aren't available anywhere else. So when we think about how we deliver on that motivation, how we speak to an audience, we're looking for people who are trying to create stories they can't get anywhere else, stories that they can start to make their own. When we think about the culture, I mean, I'll be really brief here and just say that when you look around the world today, everything can feel a little fast, a little chaotic, a little divided, a little unsafe. And frankly, St. Genevieve is the antidote to the stressors of modern life today. And we think that that's really important. That's part of what makes this place as special as it is. as I mentioned, the folks that we spoke with really were our greatest source of inspiration. Everyone we spoke with at least, clearly loves this place, feels invested in this place, and is part of that brand identity that we're working towards in a way that you don't see elsewhere. That is unique, that is rare, and that is something that we're very much hoping that we've bottled in the process of working towards this new brand. We know that this is a place that makes history and heritage come alive. We know that this is a place where community is something you can count on. A place that is full of creativity that is fueled by one another. And we know that it's a place that people come back to once they've been once because of the charm that is St. Genevieve. And I think one of the things that it's a really simple finding, but one of the things that we were most struck by was that this is a place that really is defined by its people. The personality of the brand that is St. Genevieve is the collective personality of the folks in this room, your neighbors, your colleagues. There we go. Okay, and so finally, remember, we had the 4 boxes, and the last box that we had to think about was the brand. Again, how do we bottle what's best about St. Genevieve? And Aaron did us a really big favor. When you start off on an assignment like this, when you're rebranding anything, be it a place or, a consumer-facing brand, it's really hard to figure out where to focus, because at the end of the day, a great brand requires that kind of focus and singularity that you saw in some of the kind of iconic brands that we shared earlier. And what Aaron helped us understand from the very beginning was that while St. Genevieve is a place that is very rich in history, while the heritage of this place is essential to what the brand is, has been, will continue to be, we have to think about more than that if we're thinking about it from a branding perspective. We have to find a way to honor our history, honor our heritage, while coming up with a forward-looking vision for the future, and not neglecting either side of that spectrum. We have to be true to who we are, but we also have to think about how this place will, as Aaron said, continue to evolve for the next 30 years. And the truth is that that's okay. History doesn't have to be the thing that we hang our hat on. The truth, as you all no doubt know, is that every place kind of has history, right? By definition, every place has its own unique history. We looked at other towns, cities across the country when trying to just get a sense of how other brands are positioning themselves from a tourism marketing standpoint. St. Charles stands out. St. Charles's brand identity, their tagline is historically awesome since 18 whatever year it was that they were founded. There's a long list of similar examples, and the point is that it feels easy to hang your brand on the past. I think the hard part is honoring that while hanging your brand on a broader promise, something that can unite not just the people in this room, but the folks who come to visit and those who will continue to return, who will then go back to their hometowns and encourage others to come visit this place for the same reasons. If there's a single kind of proof point that really speaks to the promise of this place and the thing that makes it special, I think it's the fact that, like, most people stay, many people come back. We heard this over and over again from folks that we spoke with. We heard it verbatim, we heard it in truth between the words that you see here, and we realized that there's something for everyone. When you see all of the different kind of attributes and things that St. Genevieve has to offer, you realize that this is a place that can't be easily defined. It can't be put into one singular box. Instead, it can be a different type of promise and a different type of experience for a lot of different people because of all of these things that make this place as special as it is. Fundamentally, it's a place where we think this is a place that really does allow people to connect with what matters most. In the world we live in today, I don't know that there are many things more important to people on a very human level, and this is something that St. Genevieve can uniquely deliver. So we wanted to make sure that we pulled that through, and finally, looking at all of these different puzzle pieces that we've assembled during the process, we wanted to get to a brand platform, which I will let Aaron share in just a moment. But just wanted to say, when we're talking about a new brand, what we're really talking about is a singular vision, a clear point of view about what it is that makes St. Genevieve, St. Genevieve. It is a combination of these things, yes, but more importantly, it is rooted in the people, the passion, and the community that came through so strongly while we were doing the thing that Aaron and Matt are about to reveal.
Sir. All right. I'm a good public speaker, Tyler. So thanks so much, Tyler. So part one that we're going to go through here was building the brand statement and the slogan. So this is the part it's not so much customer facing as it is something for all of us to remember when we're promoting our own brand. It's really the essence of who we are as a community. So I want to do something right now. I want everybody to close their eyes while I read the brand statement. I think this will help you guys get into the mood. So calm down, take a deep breath. So I will read the brand slogan now. St. Genevieve has never been an easy place to describe. It's the kind of town where history isn't just preserved, it's alive. It's woven into every street, building, and festival. It's where our ancestors carved a future from the banks of the Mississippi, and where their resilience and ingenuity still thrives today. But it's not just the history that's special. It's the way people here care for each other, coming together for traditions that feel as timeless as the town itself. It's the quiet moments on a hiking trail, the commotion of a community festival, the unexpected warmth of a neighbor's welcome. This is a place where newcomers can become family, where stories are shared over coffee, and where dreams have room to grow. It's not a town frozen in time. It's a canvas for what comes next. In St. Genevieve, there's something special for everyone. A past to discover, a community to connect with, and a future full of possibility. Join us in St. Genevieve. There's something special here. So this is the mission statement and the slogan we come up with. In fact, the slogan is something that Bill Nagger said to the whole group when Blacktop Sailor first came to town. We were at Audubon's, it was a Monday night, all the locals were there, and so Bill comes up giving a very impassioned speech, and we all kind of stopped and went, well, that was something. You know, it was the very last thing he said, there's something special here. And it's like, whoa, it really just hit us and stopped us. But that's not why it stuck. It stuck because it really encapsulates what I think everyone who has put roots here feels. There's something special here, you know? Whether you've started an antique store, a candy shop, a winery, or decided to fill a vacant tourism position, that's what you feel. Now the challenge is, how do we make sure everyone who visits feels the same thing? So that's part one. Part two is coming up with the visual assets of our brand, so the logos, the other iconography, that people will come to associate with our brand. To that end, I want to bring up Matthew Maddox from Blacktop Sailor to talk about the work he did setting that up. So.
And hopefully by the end of the night you will intimately know me as Maddox, because it was really weird hearing Matthew come out of your mouth. Thank you everyone, and I think, you know, hearing all of the warm and inspirational thought and feeling and information that went into everything that you see that leads up to one page, one slide, sometimes one graphic. The idea is that the graphic itself does as much justice as the feelings that led up to it. So hopefully you guys will see in terms of how we began to think about bringing not only just this one slide to life, but all the other pieces and parts that will come together to make a brand that we hope you guys will continue to like, learn to love, and really be super proud of as this gets its way out into the world. So the way we started that is, you know, we came down the first time and we had amazing conversations with a lot of you. And it was great. And most people, you talk about coming back. And so as it was time to get into thinking about how do we bring this thing to life visually, well, we came back. We had a few other residents to have conversations with, and it wasn't so much the people as it was the places. So we started to look at, some of the obvious ones. But then as we were walking around, it was all about looking into the details, the pieces and parts, every little nook and cranny that really brought St. Genevieve to life, that really helped inform a way to bring your brand forward that made it authentic to you all. So you start looking at some of the architectural details, and then you even look at some of the most, sometimes it's the mundane things that you all walk by every single day, that it just takes either a fresh perspective or some advertising chuckleheads like us to look at something and say, there's something special here, this should be a part of something bigger. It was actually a pretty cool day talking about Aaron taking around, got to go down in the bowels of basements and look at some crazy stuff, talking about events you all had back in 1914, and what are the pieces and parts that really starts to inspire. So, and then you even start looking at crazier details. It's like the handwriting underneath a glass case, a lantern, the side of a boat. All of this really started to speak to us in terms of how we're being sure that we are bringing St. Genevieve to life. And so you look at history as being what is informing us, but the nostalgia is what inspires us, and how that nostalgia allows us to create something that hopefully stays true to you all, but allows you to take it on into the future and make it continue to be relevant. So then it's like getting done with a sweet tour and sitting down and now beginning to think about how does this start to translate into a way that is able to be produced, talking about lots of design nerd things, but we know that you guys have a lot of needs of ways that this stuff all has to live for you to create your communications and bring your brand, not only bring your brand to life, but the way that you guys need to talk to each other out in terms of different formats. And so we have to take that, translate that, and make sure that that is able to stay true. In reality, it was kind of more just an opportunity to sit down at Audemars, have a beer, hang out there in a little bit as we talked about the day, but it was a really inspiring one. But regardless, what that did is you can start to see how those details became elements that began to inspire a process, and a process in which became so collaborative between us and Aaron and all of you, whether you realized it or not, but you were all part of it. And so how does some of those elements begin to then inform some of the things that then become your brand? And then it came with a lot of work. So we went through a lot of rounds, a lot of discussions, a lot of conversation, a lot of things that, hey, it worked great, but maybe what about this? And so this is more or less just to show you guys that we hope that you see that it was a lot of realization in terms of everything that you guys were passionate about, that we were able to bring to the table to hope make you all fall in love with your town in another level.
Thanks so much, man. So a big part of what our branding does is not just what's here now, but it's aspirational, right? So I've said before that St. Genevieve is a finished product, but our packaging of that product is not. We haven't fully fleshed out what we are or what we want to be on a county-wide level. We haven't packaged what we're really selling people. And so for us, we need to plant our branding foot in a direction towards our future. And that's what I believe we've done here. Kind of positioning ourselves somewhere between colonial Williamsburg, Sonoma in California, and Mayberry. This is kind of like that fictitious town. We were very happy with Blacktop's initial explorations, but we wanted to push our vision a little further. That's why me and Neve Johnson up there, she's my new content coordinator, we started looking at badges and logos that kind of range from 1800s in France to the 1950s in North America, to the brand material of luxury spas and resorts around the world. And in the end, Maddox and Blacktop Sailor helped us achieve this. It's classic, it's versatile, it's elegant. we chose a more muted color palette that we feel kind of reflects more of the colors that you see around town. But you know, what we chose has a deeper meaning than kind of what meets the eye. So when you're looking at this rich kind of green-brown, I think that represents the Mississippi River and the fertile soil that the river has brought us. That heather blue that you see represents heaven above and more of the aspirations we have for our town. And the gold that we chose is us. That's the spirit we carry. That is the heart of St. Genevieve, and that's why we're called a hidden gem. So a lot of thought went into all of this. And we were looking for something that, you know, when placed against the backdrop of town, it didn't stick out like a sore thumb, you know, or kind of drag down what we have, but it elevates the things that we have. And hopefully it gets people to stick around for a little bit longer, and that way we can kind of set our hooks into them, you know? So it's physical staying power. It's the ability to match and exceed expectations and to put our assets in the right context to succeed. That will make us an enduring brand. And I really believe all the ingredients have been here. And I really believe this is the packaging that we need to get people to stick around a little bit longer and take a deeper look at what we have. So I just want you to all go away remembering that this isn't just some static brand for the city. This is a brand that was made with all of you in mind. It's all our brand. And for it to work, we all have to push this message up the hill, that there's something special here. So that concludes our presentation for tonight. Normally we might do a Q&A, but we want this to be a celebration. So if you have any questions, you can meet with Maddox or I, or Tyler at the bar, and we'll take some questions. So now it's time to eat, drink, and be merry. So thanks so much for coming.